Hi guys! So today I'm going to be talking about my worst concert experience ever. Like ever.
It make me wanna testify.
I've been to quite a few concerts. I haven't really talked about all of them on this channel, but I would like to do a little series where I talk about each concert that I've been to and just like explain my experience. I have done a few little story times though, and I'll start making playlists for you guys so that way everything will be organized, and I'm sure there'll be like a little annotation here if you guys want to go ahead and check it out. Today we're going to be talking about my worst concert experience ever, and I really need to stop saying that and just talk about it. So I mentioned this in a video I did a little bit ago, which if you haven't watched, I'll link it up above and in the description below again. But unfortunately, my Shawn Mendes concert experience was atrocious. So we're gonna get started with how the day went. So I went to the aquarium, and then we thought that would take more time than what it did, and it didn't. So we ended up waiting in line, and it had to have been about, I don't know, I think we waited in line from like 12 to 6. So it was like a 6-hour wait in line, and I was wearing a tank top. I did not have sunscreen. I got pretty burnt. I think I have a picture. But when I get sunburned, it's like one day where it's like bad, and then the next day it's like a glowing tan. But that glowing tan only lasts like a week, whatever. In the front of the line, obviously, because it was like noon, and I'm not really paying attention to the people around me. We go inside, and I realize that it's all general admission. So like the seating in the bleachers was general admission. You sit wherever you want, or you could go and stand on the floor. It was whatever you wanted to do. And I was with my mom, so we had to sit in the bleachers because she can't stand for a long period of time. I did leave her for a little bit to get into the pit and watch him, and I got some really good footage. And it was a blessed day with footage. All my concert footage was amazing, except for this freaking screaming in the background from these little girls. And this is what made it the worst concert experience ever. Had nothing to really do with Shawn, just the crowd. I started to realize the vast amount of little kids there were. There was like 5-year-olds at this concert. Like, I am not joking. I'm not saying it was just some really short like girl. Like, it was a child at this concert. And the reason was, apparently, we had like a Girl Scout leader in front of us, and my mom and I were talking about how there's so many little kids, and she turned around and explained the situation, not in a rude way, but explained that the Girl Scouts in the area, if they sold a certain amount of cookies, got free tickets to this concert. So the entire arena was literally Girl Scouts. Like, there were groups of like 30 Girl Scouts, and I've never seen so many Girl Scouts in my entire life. I'm kind of disappointed that they weren't trying to sell cookies, but like maybe that's a thing you can't really sell on like that property or something. Anyway, there's so many little kids. It made me think like of Justin Bieber, like, but I was a little kid when I went to Justin Bieber. Like, I was a small child when I went to Justin Bieber, so I fit in. I was not a small child at this concert. I was a teenager. I was like 16 years old with a bunch of 5-year-olds. And they brought these posters, and they were thick posters. They were like this thick styrofoam. And they would go to lift them up, and each time they would lift them up, they would hit my mom in the back of the head. And she got so pissed off. She was so mad at them because they kept hitting her with their posters, and she would like ask them to stop, and they'd be like, oh, sorry, I didn't know, and they'd bump her again, and they'd say, oh, I'm sorry, after each time they bumped her. But they bumped her a lot. I am telling you, it was a lot. And the screaming was so bad because it was just all these little kids. Like, it literally felt like I was surrounded in a nursery or something of babies crying. It was like my worst nightmare. And this experience literally made me like, this took PCD to a whole new level. And I'm sorry if that term is offensive to people. I'm not being offensive with like OCD or anything. I didn't eat when I was in line. I just drank a lot. So when I got home, I was so upset with how my concert experience went because there was so much like extra stuff going on that it really brought down my mood and just ruined it for me. And my mom and I were both kind of disappointed with how the concert went just because of the crowd. Shawn Mendes sang amazingly, and I was really impressed with how he presented himself, and definitely his set list. I thought that he did an amazing job, and I really respect him as an artist. It really made me feel more attached to him. I just was so upset with how my experience went that I did not eat for like 3 days afterwards because I kept like mentally thinking like, oh, that wasn't real, that didn't happen, so let's restart it. So like my body was like reliving the experience, so like I would only drink what I drank in line for the concert, and I wasn't really eating a lot. It was really, really weird, and that was probably the most like severe PCD I've ever gone through, that it was affecting like my physical being, and it was just weird. It was like a huge concert withdrawal and it sucked, but I got out of it, so thankfully I didn't like keep up with that because it was really, really unhealthy. I went into the pit and that was probably the best concert like part for me because no kids were in the pit, clearly, because they were really, really short. They wouldn't have been able to see anything. They probably would have gotten trampled because there was a lot of older women or like teenagers, I guess, in the pit, so it was more like the adult zone, but I wasn't able to stay in there for long. And then when I got out of the pit, he started to sing Aftertaste, which was my favorite song off of Handwritten, and I got so upset because I was just like, no. And when I filmed it, I had a bunch of these kids screaming in my ear, and that was also just really upsetting. I just didn't realize how loud kids could be at a concert, and I'm sure this was their first concert, so I'm sure they all had a really nice time, but it just sucked for everyone else. But when these 3 girls left that like were beating my mama with the poster, they forgot their poster that they paid for. It was like one of the official like handwritten posters. I think it was like $7. That was another good thing. Shawn Mendes' merch was like really cheap. They left it behind, so my mom like grabbed it and she's like, we're taking this. Anyway, that's my worst concert experience ever. If you've ever had one, let me know in the comments down below. If you want me to talk about all of my other previous concert experiences, give this video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. And I will get back to you guys soon with some more story times, I guess. I pray for you all that you don't go through this. I love you guys, and I'll see you again soon. Peace out, girl.